tell Romy I said I sent her a happy birthday wish last week.
We took her out to dinner on Friday night.
Well, that was very nice of you. That was very nice of you.
So she and I spent the day together at the principal's meeting, and I was on the phone with her, and she said, "What is that? That sounds like Dr. Lamb." I said, "It is."
So I'm glad you brought her up. That's a good example for everybody on the screen tonight. So I guess it was about 11 or 12 years ago. I went to Caldwell County, which is in northwestern North Carolina, to a little place called Sawmills, to the elementary school there, and I met two young ladies who were my interns in this program. I was on the road coordinator at that time, and so I visited Mindy and Romy, and they were dynamite. And before Romy even finished this program, she moved to Wilmington and went to Mary C. Williams. And we continued, and I went down and visited her there because I was working that end of the state by that time, and visited her there. And as luck would have it, she was introduced to Dr. Hamilton, and she became her assistant principal. And now Romy is principal at her own school. But the abject lesson there for us all is that the people that you meet along the way, you never know when everybody knows everybody in this business, and the people that you meet along the way can be a big help for you in your career. And so I met Dr. Hamilton when I was supervising Pam Cannon at her school, and I met Dr. Hamilton that way. And so all of these relationships that you build and the teams that you build, that's why we put you in teams in these classes. These will be the relationships that you will have as you grow in this business, and it's a good thing to have, because a lot of folks know a lot of people, and I'll reference all of you. Before you get your first job, probably I'll reference you, hopefully not too many times. Dr. Stedman and I had a young man in what was it, in Goldsboro. We must have done 30 references on him, but he eventually got a job.
He did.
So hopefully we won't have to do that many, but always remember that we are a family, that you have a professional responsibility to the people that you're in these classes with, both your professors and your classmates, because this is our business. This is our chosen profession, and your reputation will follow you. So that's a good reminder. And it was Romy's birthday last week. So, but we've been together, I guess, for 12 or 13 years now, and we still keep up. And that's the way this business is. That's just the way it goes. So tonight I want to talk to you about Taskstream. As I said, we got all your accounts purchased last Friday. We sent you the emails. Now, some of you missed your emails, and we've tried to get some links sent back to you. If you haven't established your account, you need to let me know so I can have them send you another link. So let me share my screen, and we'll get started in Taskstream tonight. All right, so when you go to, let me get this out of the way. So when you type, taskstream.com into your internet browser, this is the screen that pops up. And please don't panic because it says Watermark. Watermark is the parent company that bought Taskstream and several other products and bundled them together. So when you get to this screen, you simply sign in, and you use your username and password to do that. And then you will get to the sign-in page, and you can see down at the bottom, you have a number of Watermark products that you choose from. And again, we use Taskstream. It's the one on the left. And so when you click on that, it's going to ask for your sign-in. And so you use your username and password. And when you sign in, now, when you sign in, you're going to have one DRF right here. And it's either going to say, let me scroll down. It's either going to say MSA 20-month program spring 23, or it's going to say MSA 12-month program 2023. This is the 3-semester folks who already have a master's, and this is the 5-semester program for the folks getting their first master's. So you'll have one of these two. Now you can see I have all these, but you're just going to have one DRF when it pops up. So don't be alarmed if you only have one. That's yours. That's your DRF. That is where you will post your work, your evidence work, the 6 evidences. You're working on the first of those, the app cell right now. That's where you'll post that work. That's where you'll eventually upload your competency folio when you finish it. It's where you will eventually post all of your internship logs. It's where you will do your self-assessment on your competency, not your artifacts, but your narrative competency, and we'll show you how to do that. And you'll also do your dispositional behaviors. Now, you can go ahead now and do your first disposition where you self-assess your dispositional behaviors. I'm going to go ahead and click on one of these. I'm going to pick the 12-month program. I'm going to click on it. Let me double check and make sure. Now I'm going in under student view. This isn't what I normally see when I go in, but I'm going to go in the view that you're going to see. So when you open your DRF portfolio, that's direct response folio. When you open your DRF, it's going to say, welcome to this program right here. And over here on the left of all the things that you're going to have to accomplish and put in this portfolio by the time you complete the program. So over here on the left. So as you can see, for you 12-month program folks, you're going to do the app cell and the app tail. Of course, all of you are going to do that this semester. You're going to do the app cell and the app tail and app cell. Now, you do not put anything in there until your instructor and your coach says that your final evidence narrative, which is all of the tasks, that'd be 5 tasks of the app cell. When they're ready to go, they'll tell you to upload for evaluation. Let me be clear. There are no comments in your DRF portfolio. Let me say that again. There are no comments in your DRF portfolio. If you can't remember it, write it down. You only upload work here for evaluation. Now, there are comments in your in a few minutes, but that's just for that. Now you say, well, Dale, there's a comments button right there on the screen. Well, unfortunately, the way Taskstream works, if I take it off this screen, it takes it out of the competency folio as well. So I have to leave it. But just remember, do not upload work and then here and then hit it and then upload it for comments. We don't do comments in this. You've gotten all your comments back through Blackboard on all your work from either your instructor or your coach or both. That's work, not in your DRF portfolio, direct response folio. So now the biggest issue I have is students tell me, I don't know how to upload my work. That it's not, I click on app cell and it won't let me upload my work. It won't give me these buttons right here to pick one of these to upload my work. Well, that's because you're not on the work screen. You're either on the comment, scores, results, or resources screen. The only 2 buttons we use are the work screen, and that's where you upload your work. And then when you want to see what your score is, you simply click on the scores results screen, and it will tell you what your results are right here. So we mostly work off the work screen for when you're uploading work in here. Now, you see this button right here that says request comments. Again, I can't take that button out, but we don't use that button. When you come in here, I'm going to move that a little here. Now, they're pretty self-explanatory. When you come in here to upload something in this DRF portfolio, you need to understand what you're uploading. 95% of the time, you will use this attachment button, and you attach the file. You simply click on that, upload from computer, add files, and then you find your app cell final evidence narrative. That's not what I want. There we go. Let's find an app cell file. There we go. I'll just put the scoring rubric in. Say that's your app cell final evidence narrative. You pick that one. It's on the flash drive that you got stuck in your computer, just like mine. We upload and close. Save and return. And then, are you ready to submit your work? Yep, I am. And then it's going to give you a little thing that says, don't forget. Here's the final thing is you hit that submit, and it tells you that your work is now submitted. That's the way that you upload work. Now, your work that you upload, your final evidence narrative for the app cell or the app tell, they should either be a PDF or a Word document. Now, most of the time, there is no problem. Let me see if I can do this. I'll upload something again here. Add files. Let's see. Let's see if it'll let me upload a PDF by using the attachment button. Add files. Open, upload, and close. It let me. There we go. So now, sometimes I'll get a student who will say, then we hit save and return. Yeah, I want to do it and submit work. Now, sometimes I'll get a student who says, I'm trying to upload my PDF file, and it won't let me using the attachment button. Well, then that's because you would need to use your text and image button over here to the left. That's the deal. So generally, we don't upload videos or links or PowerPoints or Prizzies or any of that here. We upload that written narrative, that final evidence narrative here for the app cell and app tell, and we either use the attachment, always use the attachment button first for a Word document or a PDF. But if you are uploading a PDF and it won't let you upload it, use the text and image button. It'll let you upload it that way. Either way, it will get uploaded in Taskstream. The biggest thing is don't forget to submit your work. This final one thing right here after you get through. And that's the way that you will upload your app cell and your app tell when you complete those. Now, be done until you have completed both the app cell and app tell at the end of the semester. This is where you go in and you tell us what you did to be competent in all the 21. You complete this form right here, and it will ask you, did you meet all of these things right here? Well, you won't have met them until you have finished both the app cell and the app tell, because in task 5 of the app cell, the first one that you do, in task 4, you will write your competencies, and they'll say, yeah, you met that, or they'll say, no, you didn't, you got to fix that. And once that is done, you simply come in here and you click it. I've met all of these. It's just that simple. You don't have to write them again. You've already written them one time, but you check these off once you have completed both of your evidences and you've passed them both, then you can go in and check that you have met your competency analysis. And then the only other thing that's due this semester in your DRF portfolio is your School of Ed dispositions. Now, when we go in School of Ed dispositions, you complete this form. You can do this at any time, but you have to rate yourself on all these dispositional dimensions, and here they are. So you have to rate yourself on learner development, learning differences, learning environments, content knowledge, application of content, assessment, planning for instruction, instructional strategies, professional learning and ethical practice, and leadership and collaboration. Now, not my share. So you'll focus. 2 cautions about doing your School of Ed dispositions. Do not assess yourself as a teacher. Let me say that again. Do not assess yourself as a teacher. Assess yourself as an administrator. That's what we're asking. Remember, you are trying to change careers. Moving from the teacher's desk to the principal's desk is not simply a change in location in the building. You are changing jobs. You're changing careers. You're moving from working with students to working with adults. It's just that simple. So the biggest mistake that we get is we have folks that assess themselves based on, I know my content as a teacher. Well, that's not what we ask. Do you know your content as a school administrator? So you have to be realistic with yourself, and self-aware. Now, you get 4 choices here. You get unsatisfactory, needs improvement, meets expectations, or exceeds. Most of you are gonna meet expectation because this is your first time around. We expect that you're gonna, not know a whole lot yet, but that you're learning. Now, so if you click any of the first 3 bubbles, unsatisfactory, needs improvement, or meets expectation, you don't have to explain that to us. We know that's probably where you are, somewhere in that range. Now, if you click on exceed expectations, oh boy, that's a different story. That's where we're all headed by the time you finish this program. If you're already to tell us using the North Carolina Principal Executive Standards, the 8 standards of North Carolina principals, why you're already exceeding expectation at the beginning of your program. I'm not saying that you aren't, but you got to be able, using the language, North Carolina Executive Standards, there's 8 of them. We use 7 of them. The 8th one is EVOS, basically. So there's 8 standards for North Carolina principals. You better know what they are, and you better be able to use that language to explain to us why you exceed expectation. Again, we're not talking about teachers. You might exceed expectation for learner development as a teacher, but that's not what we're asking you. We're asking you as an administrator, where are you? So you need to self-assess, because when you do that, we're going to go in and we're going to do a matching one on you from what we see. And we eventually expect to get you to exceed. If you're there now, then you have the opportunity to prove that to us. If you don't, then we're going to score you where we think you are. So this is really an exercise in self-awareness. Reflecting. Good teachers, good administrators reflect on their practice, and a lot of that is self-awareness and knowing what they're doing and not doing and what they need to be able to do. So this is kind of your first reality check. Those are the things that are due us this semester in both the 12-month and the 20-month program, are the APSEL, the APTEL, competency analysis at the end of the semester when you've completed both of these 2. And you can go in any time you want to this semester and do your School of Ed dispositions as your starting point. And then those of you, you'll do your OMA and SKIP next. And again, more dispositions. We'll split these up between 602 and 603. So what we'll do for those of you who are in the 20-month program, next semester in 602, you'll do the OMA. You won't do the SKIP because it's the summer and it's only half the time, so you'll only do 1. Those of you who are with us in the 12-month program, you got to do 2 this summer, so you're going to have to get after. We'll probably let the 20-month program just do 1. So y'all are going to have to get at it. So y'all got to do the OMA and SKIP, and then in 605 you've got 2, and then in 605 the analysis, you've got a completer survey, and then and only then, once you have completed your competency folio that we're going to build in a few minutes, you will move it over here for final evaluation, and then you will put your internship logs for each semester. Let me address internship logs. Do not put them here each semester. This is not the place. This is when you get done, when you get all of them. If you're in the 5-semester program, when you click the button for this one, there better be 5 logs that you upload with 80 hours minimum for each of those logs. If you're in the 12-month program, there better be 3 logs with a minimum of 80 hours that signed off by your school administrator that go in here. Now, I always get the question, can I bank hours? No, that's not a Dale decision. That's a state licensure decision from all the states that we license you in. So what that means is this. So Dale, what does banking hours mean? So, as you know, the spring semester is the longest and the summer semester is the shortest. So what we'll have people do is say, if I can get 120 this spring, can I just do 40 in the summer? No. That's an easy question, simple answer. You got to get a minimum of 80 every semester in order to be considered a full-time intern. Any semester you don't have 80 hours on your internship log, you're not considered a full-time intern. You must have at least one continuous year of being a full-time intern, or I can't get your license. Sorry.
Dr. Lamb,
So 80 every semester.
Remind them though that when you get to week 15 and we require you to turn your log in for that semester, at that point, there's 3 or 4 weeks before your next semester starts. We will allow you to continue working and you can add those onto your next semester, but
Yep.
you have to have this semester cleared with your clinical coach too before that can start.
Yeah. Now,
Okay.
I won't be looking too hard. So like say right after Easter in April, if you got your 80 and you start your summer log, I won't be too picky on that.
Yeah.
You know, you can, as Dr. Stedman is talking about, you can kind of stretch it out. You can stretch and get a couple extra weeks on the front end of the summer, and you can get 3 extra weeks on the back end of the summer.
Right.
So that goes from 10 to 15 all of a sudden, if you understand that. That's simple math. 2 plus 10 plus 3 is 15, and that's a regular semester. So don't come up till the second week in May getting your 80 hours, and then you've lost the opportunity to get a couple of weeks head start. And then, you know, once summer school's over, the first Saturday in August, you take a hiatus until we start back in the fall and lose those 3 weeks. So if you're smart, you can stretch that 10 into 15, which is a normal amount of time that it takes to get 80 hours.
And we'll talk to you about summer as well before this semester is over with, because many of you will lead summer programs and you will take a leadership role in that, and that will help you a lot in the summertime.
Yeah.
And also, Dr. Lamb, in the summertime, like principals really do love to embrace this internship availability.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's a great time to be able to go help with things during the summer, because schools are so short-staffed naturally in the summer, that principals really do want this extra help and are just very happy to have it.
Right.
Now, that does mean that you're sort of, you want to call it working for free, but you're doing your internship hours for Gardner Webb.
Yeah.
But principals love it.
Yeah. And we'll talk as both Dr. Stedman and Dr. Hamlin are referring to. We'll talk to you toward the end of the semester about that, and we'll talk to you about it at the beginning of summer school. I get asked all the time, what's the best way to get your summer hours? Well, the best way, as Dr. Hamilton's referring to, is to collaborate with your principal and say, when are you taking your vacation? And when there's usually a couple weeks after school's out in the spring before principals take their vacation. That's a great 2 weeks. If you can come, exactly, Dr. Crawford's talking about scheduling. That's generally when principals kind of finalize that master schedule for the fall, is during that 2 weeks immediately after the spring semester. I mean, the school year is over, in June. They generally stick around for a couple of weeks, like exactly transition meetings, scheduling. They try to get all that kind of stuff off their plate before they take their vacation time. And generally they take vacation around the 1st of July. That coincides with the 4th of July. Generally the district gives you some of those days, 12 months employees already, and they'll try and take some of their vacation days, annual leave days around that time, so that they basically get the state to pay for a part of their days. Now, I know you don't believe this, but if you're lucky, eventually you'll be as old as me and Dr. Stedman. Now, what that means is, at some point, you're going to retire from the school business. when you retire, now, as teachers and classroom-based people, you cannot take annual leave days when kids are in the building. You can as administrators, and you can take them anytime, and you're on a 12-month contract. But the more vacation or annual leave days that you can save, the more you can cash those in at the end of when you retire for either length of service or cash money. And so principals are smart. They've wised up to that. So they try to, instead of taking 7 or 10 days off that they're having to cash in annual leave days, they try to plan their vacation around natural vacation days that are built into the calendar already, so that they don't just get 3 days off, they get 7, but it only costs them 3 or 4. And if you're smart and you do that for a number of years, think about how much money that is. If you do that for 20 years as an administrator and save an extra even 3 days a year, that's 60 extra days. That's 3 months. That's 3 months of service accrual time, or 3 months that you can cash out. Now, most of the time you can only, you can cash out your sick days too. Sick days and annual leave days, and as an administrator, when you retire, you can cash those out, folks. That's a lot of money.
Dr. Lamb,
It's
30 days you can cash out. But I will tell you, Dr. Lamb's right. I actually had 34 years with the state when I retired, but I had accrued over 600, about 650 sick days that I had never used. And so when I retired, I actually had 36 years of experience with the state for retirement purposes.
Yep. And that's a lot of money, and it's for the rest of your life, folks. These are the kinds of things you need to learn along the way. So your principal knows this kind of stuff. So they're going to hang around a couple weeks after school's out and get a lot of the planning and a lot of the stuff done for the next year. And Dr. Crawford, welcome, but thank you for being with us. He's typed some of these things in that you might talk to your principal about in the chat tonight. And so that's a good way to get hours. You say, but Dale, I need to work. I understand that. But if you could devote 2 weeks, think about this, 2 weeks, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week for 2 weeks, that's your 80 hours for the summer right there. And as Dr. Hamilton said, you would be immeasurable help to your principal, and that will really endear you. We've had a lot of students through this program, and their internship was, it was just kind of okay. They put those 2 weeks in and work with their principal those 2 weeks, and the entire internship turned around. I'm telling you, it's a wonderful thing if you can do it.
Dr. Lamb, those 2 weeks of consistency, I promise you, if you can do that, will teach you so much, because you're consistently able to go back the next day and build on what you, instead of sporadically doing things. 2 weeks back to back, you would be amazed at how much you will learn.
How much you will learn. Can all 3 internships be done at our school? Yeah, you can. Now, you can do, different districts do it differently, and especially in South Carolina. You can do your internship at your home school all the way through. Not really an issue in North Carolina, because North Carolina does one administrative licensure at the principal level, and it's K-12. Now, it is an issue in South Carolina. For you South Carolina folks, South Carolina has split their administrative licensure into 2. So let me pull that up and show you what I'm talking about. Sometimes a visual aid will help. Let me go here. So I do these all the time. That one's from Georgia. If you want to see a Georgia one, if somebody wants that, put it in chat and I'll show you the Georgia one. Let me see. This is the stuff that I have to fill out on y'all all the time. Let's see. Right here. All right, so this is a South Carolina recommendation form when I do licensure for you. So this is what it looks like. So what you put all your stuff up here on the top. And so, but you have to, they have split theirs into ed leadership, elementary, and secondary. So now we knew that, and Melissa planned ahead. So what she did was she did some of her internship at a middle school, which is considered elementary, and then she did some of it at the high school. So if you got at least one full semester At each of these levels, I will recommend you for both elementary and secondary. Now, again, North Carolina people, close your ears because you don't have to worry about this. Yours is one. It's just elementary. I mean, it's just Ed Leadership K-12. South Carolina, not as lucky for y'all. So if you want both, you may have to talk to your district about moving you around. Now, we have 2 districts that do that automatically, that move their interns around for that purpose in South Carolina. So if you're in Horry County, or if you're down in Aiken, they will move you around. Horry will do it whether you want to or not. Aiken will do it if you request it, I believe is the way that works. But anyway, as you can see, it is split, and this is based on where you get your clinical hours. Let me say that again. This is based on where you get those 80 clinical hours that go on that internship log every semester. And of course, it will see, I put the grade span on her. She's K-12, she got both. And then, at what level it is and all that, you don't need to see all the rest of the stuff, but just understand that if you're South Carolina and you want both, you've got to plan for that as you're getting your hours. Now, if you just want to do it at your school and not go to another school to do it, that's perfectly acceptable. But just understand, North Carolina, it's not going to be a problem. South Carolina, you're only going to get licensed at the level where you did that your school is if you don't go to one of the others. That's just the quirk in the law. Now, if we have any Georgia people, I think we have one at, let's see. I think Georgia, let's see, let me look at Georgia. Here's their approved program form from Georgia. Let's see. Nope, theirs is K-12. Right here. They do theirs pre-K-12. So Georgia's like North Carolina. You're clear. You get clear certification all the way through in Georgia. Now they do 2 tiers. You only get tier 1, but everybody's that way. You either tier 1's principal, tier 2 superintendent. And so North Carolina and Georgia people and Virginia people, you are, and Tennessee people, we have a few of each. You're clear. Pre-K-12. South Carolina, you're not. You got to choose one or the other, or you got to make an effort to get your internship hours at both. All right, everybody got that? Everybody understands that? All right, moving on now. Let me share my screen back to Taskstream. All right, so that pretty much covers the Taskstream DRF portfolio. Remember, no comments here. This is where you put your completed work. Nothing due yet. App sale will be the first thing you do. At any time you want to, you can go in and do your dispositions, and that's fine with me. All right, so when you first sign in, I'm gonna log completely out of Taskstream, and I'm gonna come back in. All right, so when you first sign into Taskstream, we're now your Competency Folio. This is where you put your artifacts. Please remember, as the result of the work that you do on your evidences and the activities that you do during your clinical internship, you will create artifacts. What's an artifact and what's an evidence? An evidence are the 6 evidences we do. They are not artifacts, they are evidences. They are a written narrative of the work that you have done for the purpose of evaluation. So we're evaluating you on those. An artifact is a byproduct of the work that a school administrator does. It is not created solely for the purposes of evaluation. It is a byproduct of your work. So for Dr. Hamilton, and Dr. Crawford, who are sitting school principals, if we went to their evaluation manual that they're evaluated on, it tells them the content of what their evidence narrative should be for their evaluation, but it also tells them what acceptable artifacts would be as proof of the work they did. So let's look at that right quick, and then you'll see how we do it here to make sure it aligns with that. So if we went to the NC Principal Evaluation Manual, it would tell us what the purpose is, and it would tell us right here. An artifact is a product resulting from a school leader's work. And it tells us what possible artifacts are for them. See all these different things right here? Again, it is not an evidence, it's an artifact. It's a byproduct of their work. An evidence is a written document or narrative that demonstrate or confirm the work of the person. So you can't use the terms evidence and artifact interchangeably. They're two completely different things. Your evidence narratives are you're writing about the app sale, you know, your how you went about developing an action plan for student learning. That's an evidence. Your first artifact was when you emailed your principal for permission to form your first PLC. That's PLC. That screenshot of that email permission is a communication artifact. So as you know, we have printed out for you. Every time you do an evidence, these are the artifacts that you will generate. They're acceptable artifacts. The activities, the suggested activities for your 80 hours, and we tell you what kind of artifact that would generate as well. Those are in your Blackboard shell. So please remember, we create a separate competency folio just for artifacts, things, screenshots, pictures, minutes, those kinds of things. The best thing that you can have for artifacts is your phone because it has a camera. Everybody carries a phone around with them now. These are the kinds of things we want things in this competency folio. Let me show you what one looks like right quick. I'll go back and I'll do a quick one. Unfortunately, I can't pull these in. I'll pull one up right fast. So this is what it's going to look like when you get done with it. Look how neat this looks. And you get to choose your fonts and you get to choose your covers and all that. And so here are the 21 competencies down through visionary for school administrators: communication, change management, conflict. And so you got to have a minimum of 3 artifacts, these competencies. So under communication, and it tells you when you open it up, it tells you, and this is the template that we're going to use. I've already got it built in. One of these 3, you got to have 3, and the app sell, the SIOP, and the open-ended, and it tells you what they are. One of them must be a digital learning competency. If you don't know what digital learning is, right here's the explanation for digital learning competency. And then you attach the actual artifact. You don't have to write quite this much if you don't want to, but just tell us what we're going to be seeing when we open up these 3 artifacts. So this is what it's going to look like in the end. As you can see, now you can have more than 3. You know, she's got what, 7 there. Now, here's the beauty of this thing. I know of nothing that's more powerful than having a great artifact portfolio, artifact competency folio, that because we're going to let you make it, you can then own it, you can share it, and you can share the link just like Anara did with me with prospective employers. You can tell them forever what you did during your clinical, but you know how powerful it is if you can show them what you did through the artifacts that you have. I'm telling you, it's what gives our folks the boost on getting jobs. Do y'all ever see the video magazine that comes out, Gardner Webb, that comes out twice a week now, Mondays and Thursdays? You ever see that? If you don't, you should start looking at it. Again, this is just a personal thing, and so we do a share. So let me go back to the box here. And so today's Thursday, so it came out this morning. It's just a little video magazine like this that comes out during the email, what's going on around campus. And those things, you know, what's happening around on the campus and what else is going on. And see right here, look at here. Why you think, you know, how you think that got there? Every week we have something in here about one of our folks getting hired, getting promoted, principal of the year, every week. Let's go back to Monday. Let's see what happened on Monday. Let me go back to, let's see what was in Monday's paper. So here's the one from Monday. What we have on that is it the same thing? No, meetings, benefit, brief share. Let's see if we had anything on Monday. I thought we had a hire on Monday. Maybe that was last Thursday's. It may be in here somewhere. Let's see. But we had, you know, our folks. We got one hired in Henderson County last week. Let's see. Let me go back to last Thursday. Yeah, we had a couple stories then. Let's go back to last Monday. I saw a couple of hours there. Go back to last Monday. But anyway, let me go back one more time. There we go. There's one of ours right there. Interim in Charlotte Mecklenburg right there. Just got that job. Let's see. What else we got here? Oh, there we go. There's one just got principal at Flat Rock. There's one from there. We have one, at least one or two every week. Our folks get hired more than anybody else's graduates in the state of North Carolina. And I think per capita in South Carolina, but I know in North Carolina, that's not my opinion. That's what the metrics tell us. Now, I think that the folks that work with you do an excellent job, and it's an excellent program. It should be, as much as it costs. But a big part in getting jobs is this competency folio that we're going to take a minute and build. So I'm right on time here. So here's how you build your competency folio. Now there's a video in your Blackboard that shows you how to do this, and it's only like 3.5 minutes long, but I'm going to go through it right quick and show you how you go about building your own competency folio. I'm going to close some of these things so it'll work a little bit faster. So when you sign in to Taskstream, do not go into your DRF portfolio. Don't do that. As soon as you sign in, before you go into your DRF, come up here to the top left where it says folios and web pages and click on that button. So what we're going to do is you're going to create a new folio. It's going to be your competency folio. You're going to create new. So click the blue button right here and you're going to name it. And so this one's going to be Dale. No, this is Spring. Spring 2023. I'm going to create a new competency folio. I hit the button. Okay, now here's the most important thing that I'm going to tell you tonight. It's going to ask you, where do we get this? Is it a general purpose template created by Taskstream, or is it a custom template designed by your learning community? That would be the one. So we click on that second bubble and it gives us a drop down menu. When we drop down the menu, all we have to select is competencies for 21st century leaders. Continue. Then you get to pick what you want the outside to look like. I feel like a butterfly tonight. My title goes here. I apply that. I preview it. That's what it's going to look like right there. Then I simply go out, come back in, and now I find my new one. It's probably going to be down toward the bottom. So it's a butterfly. So look for the butterfly. You can see all these I've created in the past. You won't have this problem. You'll only have one. Here we go. So here's the one that, and then you'll have one, and it'll look like whatever you titled it. And when you click on it and open it up, this is what it's going to look like. So over here on the left are all of the competencies that you're going to attach artifacts to. So we go back up to the top here. So under communication, we got to have 3 artifacts. One of them's got to satisfy the following practical positive communication and collaboration with stakeholders, learning practice through all school, and effective list other parents understand. So that, remember I talked about that email screenshot of permission from your principal to start a PLC? That would satisfy the one from the apps, a artifact from the app cell, and it is a digital learning competency. It satisfies that as well. And you simply click on the attachment. But now, remember before we talked about the buttons. Now all of a sudden you got all of these buttons right here again. Now it becomes much more relevant about these buttons now, because you're not just going to be uploading either a PDF or a Word document now. If it's a video, you click the video link. If it's a link, an HTTP link, or a YouTube link, you click on that. If it's a PowerPoint or a Prezi, you click on that. If it's a document like a PDF or a picture, or if it's text and image, which is a PNG, which is a screenshot, or a JPEG, which is a picture, you have to click on this button. So you have to know what media that you're uploading. What is your artifact? If it's a screenshot, text and image, picture, text and image, PowerPoint, slideshow. If it's a Word document, attachment, PDF, attachment. If that doesn't work, go back to text and image on that. If it's a video like a TikTok or something, get there. And if it's a YouTube link, you click on that. And so that's how you upload them here. That's how you do that. So like if I had a slideshow, a PowerPoint that I had created, like I did when I did a staff development for Thomasville City Schools, like Dr. Hamilton and I did last month. If I wanted to upload that, I could add or edit that. And then I come over here, choose file, and I'll sort that. Come down to the one that says master schedule. Save and return. Move that out of the way. And that will effectively upload that one to me here. So let me go back and make sure I do that again. slideshow, current one, add image, save. It's giving me an error message. That's why it won't save. Save. Save and return. And it should be there. It won't let me upload one because I'm not in the DRF. I'm not registered as a student. So it won't let me save one, but it'll let you save one. That's simply how you do that. It's just, that's what that error message keeps telling me, is I can't save one, but you can. So that's the way. So you should be able to, in 30 seconds, just like I did. I'm gonna walk through it again. And again, there's a video, and move that out of the way. There's a video, and this is where you put your artifacts. And also, let me, before I get out, down here at the bottom, when I said don't put your semester internship logs in your DRF portfolio, this is where you put them, is right here. You upload your semester internship logs here, and you upload it here, and then when you get it done, you request comments from your coach, and they'll tell you, if your hours look good or not. When you put artifacts in, you can request comments from your coach to look at your artifacts to make sure that they're appropriate. Don't wait till the last semester, build this thing out, and then you got a bunch of artifacts that don't match, or that aren't allowed because of copyright, or you tried to use the same thing 7 or 8 times. So if you do something and you've got a good artifact, like you led a parent group and you've got a picture of you doing that, the rule of thumb is you can't use it but twice. So make sure when you put artifacts in here, and you won't put any until after you finish the app sale. When you put artifacts in here, request comments. Right here is the button, request comments from your coach to make sure that your artifacts are okay. And if you'll do that as you go, you'll be fine. You need 1 artifact for each of the 21 this semester, by the way. 1 artifact for each. All right, so again, when you come into Taskstream, don't go into your DR portfolio. Go to Folios and Web Pages, create new. Create new custom template designed by your learning community. Drop down menu, competencies for 21st century leaders, continue. Feel like baseball this time. Apply. Preview. Sign it. Sign back in, and it will be there. There it is, right there. And that'll be it. It's pretty easy. And the beauty of it is when you get it built, you can publish and share it with prospective employers. And when you get it built and when it's done, you will go over to your DRF portfolio. Down at the bottom, and you will upload it and bring it over from there and get it graded over here in your DRF portfolio, because it has to go with the rest of your portfolio to the state. And so you simply, upload it, final competency folio, attachments, an artifact created in Taskstream right here. And it's going to be a web folio, select work, 2019. You select one you've got, add to file, save and return, and it will be uploaded for evaluation. But you only do that when it's completely done. When it's completely done, you go ahead and do that. But that'll be at the end of your program. So the reason why we split it out separately is so that you will have ownership of it and you can customize it. I mean, I'm amazed at what some of the students do with theirs, how interactive it is, and it has movement and pictures, and it's just marvelous. and it shows the work that you've done. And when you send that link to a prospective employer and they open that thing up, it's dynamite, folks. I'm telling you right now. Now we're going to work with you. We're going to work with you during this program. We're going to do interviewing sections. I'm going to do those where we'll teach you how to get through the interviews, all 4 different types of interviews. We'll teach you all of that stuff. You'll know your content. You'll have your evidence work. But this is that one little extra thing. That's why our people get those jobs. That's why we got something in there every week. They get a promotion. They're principal of the year. They get hired. They go from, we got, what was it? Who got hired in Henderson County this week? As AP, that's in 602. I know his name. I'm having a senior moment, but that's why we get so many APs. That's why we get so many principals. That's why we get superintendents. Is that one thing right there? Number one, you understand the evaluation system of evidence and artifacts. That's key to getting hired and promoted in this business, is understanding how you'll be evaluated. But also that wow factor of that competency folio is great. It really is. All right. I think my time is up.
And Dr. Lamb, we will go over all of this again in class, and we will break it down again with you at the appropriate times. For those of you that are in my class, Dr. Revis will clear you with everything in these Taskstream responsibilities. If you're in Dr. Revis's class, it will come to me. If you're in Dr. Hamilton's class, Dr. Crawford will be the one that will be clearing you. But probably close to Dr. Hamilton, Dr. Revis, I think it's about week 7, around week 6, we begin talking to you about task 5 and the competencies that you have to complete for the APSL. And we show you how to work smart and not harder, so that you can use a lot of that in your competency folio at the same time. So when you get through with the APSL, you actually will have half of the folio completed as well before you move on to the APTEL. Okay.
Where's Melissa Brannon? Are you on with us? There you are, Melissa. Where are you at? Are you over in Inman?
I'm in Spartanburg, District 5.
Yeah, you're in 5. Yeah, that has intermediate schools. Yeah.
Well, we'll have intermediate for another 1.5 years, and then we'll be a middle school.
Then be middle schools. Yeah, unfortunately they consider that elementary.
Okay.
But yeah, you're in 5. All right. And so yeah. So what's the closest town? What's the closest town you live in 5?
I'm in the small town of Lyman.
You're in Lyman?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say you'd have to be in that end of the county. And so that's why I asked if you were in Inman. You know, that end, that area over there is the last to convert. And so you know, that's but you're gonna get modern times here shortly. So but that's
Yeah,
good people
this is my 13th year there. So we've been at it for a while. Yeah. We did have 4th grade for a while. And then we moved them back because we just didn't have space for everybody.
Yeah, we have a lot of students. I went over, I think it was the intermediate school over there, and I went in and I looked at the fellow that was standing there, and it was a 50-year-old man, and he looked at me and he said, "Coach, is that you?" And I said, "Yeah, it's me, John." I hadn't seen him since he was 15 years old. John Hodge was principal over at some of you might know John, at the intermediate school over in Inman. Yep. I hadn't seen him since he was 15. He was 50 years old. He played baseball for me in high school. And so good people. That's what I mean. These connections, folks, you know, that's a big part of it too, getting jobs is the connections, the relationships you build among your classmates, with your professors, with the folks in your building, and you know, Dr. Crawford, Dr. Hamilton, both will tell you that 2 weeks that you could spend with the school administrator, you'll get to know them better than you ever would any other way. And so, you know, this is your opportunity, folks. This is, you know, maximize this. I know that you have lives and families and you want to do other things, but I'm telling you, if you'll put the time and effort in, especially this folio, doing your doing your internship hours, if you're serious about those, things will work out for you. I firmly believe that, because I have plenty of evidence that it will. It will do that. You know, we are, there's a reason why you're paying more for a private school. You get more, I hope, but we also, you know, we also prepare you a little better in terms of the things that we do with you, and allow you the opportunity to prepare yourself better. That's the big, I don't know that we do more, but we give you the opportunity to do more. Sometimes that's why you hear us all the time talking about, well, this seems overwhelming, but it is, because we have a lot for you to do. You know, we want no stone unturned. We want to give you every opportunity to A, get a job, and B, be great in that job. We've got enough average administrators in the business now. We need for you to be great. Kids deserve greatness. They really do. They deserve greatness. And so that's kind of my parting. I won't be back with you until when, Dr. Stebbin, when the app tell I got to go back to work on Thursday.
It's about
March
4
2nd.
weeks. March 2nd, yeah.
All right, so y'all get a whole month off from me. I've got to do some PD. I've got some doctoral classes I've got to get caught up on, and some different things. I've got my classes on Tuesday and Wednesday nights, and so we've done well on those. So I've got to focus on them for a little bit and get a little work done. Quit all this loafing. So I will see y'all in another month. So everybody, thank you again as always for choosing Gardner Webb, and have a good evening. Thank you again.
Thank you, Dr. Lamb.
All right, so the question is, well, I need just one. Yes, Melissa, you'll just need one minimum of one semester, and I'll recommend you. That is correct, minimum of one. And make sure you get that principal to sign your log. That's a biggie. You know, we have those logs signed every semester for a reason, because principals move, teachers move, things change, so we sign them off. We used to wait and get it at the end when we had all the hours. Well, that was not smart on my part, so we get them every semester. So just make sure that the semester you go over to the high school and do your hours over there, you get that AP or principal to sign off, and we're golden.
Hey, Dr. Lamb, let me correct what I said. We have a town hall on February 27th.
Okay, February
And then the
27th.
next coaching session on March 2nd.
Sounds great. So I'll see y'all on February 27th.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everybody have a good evening. And again, thank you for joining us.
Okay, bye-bye.